Welcome to Stoic Golden Tribe, where men rise with wisdom, strength, and clarity. Today we talk about a rare kind of woman, the one whose presence carries peace, whose voice calms storms, and whose soul shines brighter than her beauty. She doesn't chase attention, she commands it through grace. She doesn't argue for respect. Her character earns it in silence. She doesn't need to compete with the world because she knows who she is in the eyes of God. A godly woman is not defined by fashion, status, or validation. Her true power lies in her spirit, in her ability to bring order where there is chaos and love where there is pride. Men may be drawn to beauty, but a man of wisdom is captivated by her presence, because the energy of a godly woman can't be faked. It's divine, magnetic, and eternal. So today we're going deep into the magnetic power of a godly woman and what makes her stand out in a world full of noise. Before we begin, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who values real wisdom, and subscribe to Stoic Golden Tribe. Drop a comment below and tell us what true feminine power means to you. Your voice might inspire another man or woman watching right now. Chapter 1. Her inner power. What makes a godly woman? Magnetic? There's something different about a godly woman. You can sense it before she speaks. Her presence doesn't demand the spotlight, yet somehow the room shifts when she walks in. It's not her perfume, her makeup, or her dress. It's the quiet authority of her spirit. A godly woman carries herself with peace, and peace is powerful. In a world that glorifies loudness and pride, she stands firm in humility. She doesn't seek validation from men because she already knows who she belongs to. Her confidence comes from God, not from attention. That's what makes her magnetic. While others chase admiration, she chooses purpose. While others try to impress, she strives to serve. While others want to be seen, she simply is, calm, radiant, and unbothered. The magnetism of a godly woman isn't in her looks, it's in her light. She reflects the kind of beauty that cannot be purchased, faked, or lost with age. It's the beauty of purity, patience, and self-control. The kind of beauty that makes a man rethink what he values. Her energy feels like home, safe, steady, and real. Because deep down, every man longs for peace. And the presence of a godly woman reminds him that peace still exists. In ancient times, kings went to war for beauty, but wise men prayed for virtue. They knew that beauty fades, but character remains. A godly woman doesn't just attract, she anchors a man's soul. She gives him reason to grow, to lead, to protect, and to love righteously. That's the magnetic power she carries. Not the power to control a man, but the grace to inspire him. Not the power to manipulate, but the wisdom to guide him toward his purpose. The truth is, her strength is silent, but her silence speaks volumes. Her glow isn't from the spotlight, it's from the fire of her faith. And that's what the modern world often forgets. Real beauty begins within. Drop a comment below. What do you think makes a woman truly magnetic? Her appearance or her spirit? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Chapter 2. Her character and conduct. How her behavior sets her apart. The beauty of a godly woman doesn't stop at her spirit. It shows in the way she lives. Her actions are her voice, and her behavior is her testimony. She doesn't talk about being different. She proves it through consistency, humility, and grace. In a time when many chase attention, the godly woman guards her peace. She understands that not every argument deserves her energy, and not every man deserves her presence. She chooses silence over drama, prayer over revenge, and growth over gossip. Her behavior flows from discipline. She knows that real femininity is not weakness, it's strength under control. The godly woman doesn't need to raise her voice to be heard. Her peace commands more respect than chaos ever could. She is intentional with her words. She speaks life, not curses. She uplifts, not destroys. Even when others provoke her, she chooses the higher road, not because she's afraid, but because she refuses to step down from the standard of grace she lives by. Her beauty is not just in how she looks, it's in how she behaves when no one is watching. The way she treats the people who can do nothing for her, the way she remains loyal even when it's not convenient, the way she prays for others even after they've hurt her. That's the type of woman who leaves a mark on a man's soul, not through seduction, but through serenity, not through flattery, but through faithfulness. A godly woman knows that her behavior is her protection. While others fight to be seen, she rests in being chosen. She doesn't need to compete because she understands that her worth doesn't depend on comparison. It's rooted in her connection to God. She's not moved by trends or by temporary pleasures. Her standards are timeless because they come from truth, and truth doesn't expire. Even when the world calls her boring or old-fashioned, she doesn't break. She understands that purity in a polluted world is power, that dignity is a crown that never fades, and that her respect for herself is what earns her the respect of others. Her behavior draws men of value, not because she tries to impress them, but because her energy repels those who aren't ready for her kind of peace. A man who meets a woman like her feels something he can't explain, a calmness that challenges him, a softness that humbles him, and a presence that reminds him what real love is supposed to feel like. Every move she makes is guided by wisdom. She listens more than she speaks, she prays before she reacts. And when she loves from a place of strength, not desperation. Her behavior teaches men how to lead because she respects leadership, not out of fear, but out of understanding. She knows that her submission is not slavery, it's strategy. It's the balance that turns a man into a king and a house into a home. There's a reason Proverbs calls her far more precious than rubies, because she's not just rare, she's righteous. Her behavior radiates the kind of elegance that money can't buy, and her grace has a way of making even strong men pause, reflect, and appreciate the kind of woman they don't see anymore. She is discipline wrapped in beauty, gentleness wrapped in strength, and faith wrapped in flesh. That's what makes her behavior so powerful, because in a world where most people act holy but live hollow, the godly woman lives her values quietly and lets her light speak for her. Drop your thoughts below. What is the most powerful behavior you've ever seen in a woman that made you respect her instantly? Let's talk about it. Chapter 3. The way she loves and supports a man. How her love becomes his strength. A godly woman doesn't just love a man, she builds him. She doesn't see a man for who he is today. She sees who he can become when he walks in purpose. Her love is not a distraction, it's direction, not manipulation, but motivation. She understands that real love is not about possession, it's about partnership. When she loves a man, she loves him with intention. She prays for his mind when the world tries to break it. She encourages his dreams when others doubt him, and she reminds him of his strength when he forgets who he is. Her words carry healing. Her presence restores peace. Because her love is guided by faith, not fear. She doesn't compete with him, she completes the vision God gave them both. When he is weak, she doesn't criticize, she covers him. When he falls, she doesn't laugh, she lifts him. When he's silent, she doesn't assume, she intercedes. The love of a godly woman is rare because it comes from spiritual maturity. She understands that a man doesn't need constant correction. He needs quiet confidence beside him. She knows that submission is not surrendering power but offering trust. And in that trust, she gives him the space to lead, to learn, and to grow. A godly woman knows that her softness is not weakness, it's her weapon. Her peace can disarm a man's frustration, her patience can rebuild his confidence, her loyalty can awaken the best in him. She doesn't use love as leverage, she doesn't play emotional games to feel in control. She gives freely because her love is not a transaction, it's a reflection of the grace she's received from God. When a man meets a woman like this, everything changes. He finds himself wanting to protect her peace because she protects his soul. He works harder, dreams bigger, and walks straighter. Not out of fear of losing her, but out of honor for the way she loves him. Her love sharpens him. It brings clarity to his chaos. It teaches him how to lead without pride and how to serve without shame. Because love, when it's godly, doesn't weaken a man, it strengthens his purpose. History has shown this truth repeatedly. Behind many great men stood a woman whose faith never wavered. Abraham had Sarah, a woman who believed in his vision when no one else did. Boaz found Ruth, a woman whose loyalty led her from poverty to purpose. And even in modern times, the men who stand tall in their missions are often carried by the quiet prayers of a woman no one sees. That is the divine balance. The man leads, but her spirit sustains. The man builds, but her wisdom protects the foundation. The man conquers, but her love gives him the strength to rise again after every fall. A godly woman doesn't drain a man. She disciplines his emotions through her presence. When he's lost in confusion, her patience reminds him that peace still exists. When his pride rises, her humility brings him back to truth. And when he's tired of the world, her touch becomes home. She knows that love is not about constant pleasure, but constant purpose. So she stays when it's hard, prays when it's heavy, and believes when it looks impossible, because her love is anchored in something bigger than both of them. It's anchored in God. Every man needs a woman who challenges him to grow, not through argument, but through example. And every godly woman knows that love is not about controlling a man's path, but walking beside him with faith. She understands seasons, that sometimes love is about holding his hand and other times it's about holding him in prayer. She knows when to speak and when silence says more, when to comfort and when to let him face his battles alone, because she trusts God more than her emotions. A godly woman doesn't compete with a man's purpose, she complements it. She adds peace to his process, she fills the spaces of his soul that power and money can never reach. She doesn't demand perfection, she respects progress, and through her quiet devotion, she teaches him what unconditional love truly feels like. In her presence, a man learns that leadership is not dominance, it's sacrifice. He learns that strength is not about control, it's about responsibility, because she reflects back to him the divine order he was created to uphold. Her love becomes his shield against the world's coldness. Her faith becomes the voice he hears when fear whispers. Her loyalty becomes the anchor that keeps him steady in the storms, and her gentleness reminds him that even warriors need rest. The love of a godly woman is not loud, but it is lasting. It's not flashy, but it's faithful. And long after her beauty fades, her impact remains. Because she didn't just love him emotionally, she loved him spiritually. That is what makes her love sacred. It's not just affection, it's alignment, it's not just chemistry, or it's covenant. Drop your thoughts below. Have you ever met a woman whose love truly strengthened you instead of draining you? Share your experience. Someone out there might need your story. Chapter 4. The lasting legacy of a godly woman. Why she's the foundation of strong men and families. When a godly woman walks through life, she doesn't just leave memories, she leaves legacy. Her influence stretches far beyond her presence. Her words echo through generations, her actions shape destinies, and her faith becomes the seed from which strong men and wise children grow. A godly woman is not only a blessing to the man who loves her, she is a pillar for everyone who learns from her strength. She carries within her the rare power to nurture kings, raise leaders, and heal wounds she never caused. She is proof that true beauty is not in appearance, it's in impact. The legacy of a godly woman begins in her home. She understands that a peaceful house is built not by wealth, but by wisdom. Her presence turns walls into warmth. Her discipline sets the tone, and her prayers build protection that no enemy can break. She raises her sons to be strong yet gentle, teaching them that real masculinity is not arrogance, but accountability. She teaches her daughters that true worth doesn't come from approval. It comes from alignment with purpose. And through her example, everyone around her learns that faith isn't just something you speak, it's something you live. Even in silence, she leads. Because the godly woman knows that her role is not to dominate, but to demonstrate. Through patience, through kindness, through quiet consistency. And in doing so, she leaves behind something that never dies, a standard. In ancient times, entire nations rose because of women who understood divine timing and purpose. Deborah led with courage, Esther interceded with wisdom, Mary obeyed with faith. Each of them changed history, not through force, but through surrender to God's will. And that's the secret of her legacy. It's born from obedience. She doesn't try to be perfect. She strives to be faithful. She doesn't chase popularity. She chooses purpose, because she knows that when God is at the center, everything else falls into order. A godly woman's legacy also lives through the man she supports, because when a woman prays for a man, she becomes part of his destiny. Her wisdom shapes his decisions, her peace strengthens his focus, and her faith multiplies his victories. Even long after she's gone, her influence remains. In the way he loves, in the way he leads, in the way he lives. The godly woman's love never truly ends. It echoes in the lives she touched. It's seen in her children's confidence, her husband's resilience, and her community's gratitude. Because her beauty was never just skin deep, it was soul deep. She is the quiet architect of greatness. While the world applauds the man who stands tall, heaven honors the woman who helped him rise. She may never seek credit, but her fingerprints are everywhere. In the peace he walks with, in the strength he carries, and in the grace that follows him wherever he goes. That's why wise men protect and honor women like her, because they understand that the prayers of a godly woman are often the reason they survived battles they didn't even know they were fighting. She is a gift, not just to one man, but to the world, and her legacy doesn't fade, it multiplies. From her, generations learn what true womanhood looks like, a heart anchored in God, a spirit clothed in strength, and a life that teaches love without saying a word. The world changes, trends fade, and beauty redefines itself every decade. But the godly woman remains timeless, because her worth was never measured by fashion, fame, or followers. It was written in her faithfulness. That's the kind of woman every man of purpose prays for, and the kind of woman every son should be raised to respect. Because when a godly woman stands beside a man, nations are changed, homes are healed, and futures are reborn. Her beauty may draw attention, but her behavior changes hearts, and her faith builds empires that even time cannot destroy. That is the lasting legacy of a godly woman. Drop your thoughts below. What lesson has a strong, godly woman ever taught you that you'll never forget? Share it. Your story might inspire someone else today. A godly woman is more than a companion, she's a calling. Her presence reminds us that love still has purity, that beauty still has depth, and that peace still has power. If you've been blessed with a woman like this, cherish her. If you're still waiting for her, prepare yourself to deserve her. And if you are that woman, never forget your light is rare, and the world needs it. This has been Stoic Golden Tribe, where we remind men to rise with wisdom, live with honor, and love with purpose. If this message spoke to you like this video, share it with someone who values truth and subscribe to join our growing tribe of strong men and wise minds. For exclusive and deeper lessons on love, masculinity, and purpose, join our membership. Only for those who seek transformation, not entertainment. Remember, every great man was once inspired by a godly woman, and every godly woman reflects the wisdom of God himself. Until next time, stay grounded, stay disciplined, stay stoic. This is Stoic Golden Tribe, where men are forged and legacies are born.